I should have really changed the word on that slide, because this is not so much of a sermon as part of our APCM. So those of you who are visiting or didn't know that today was our annual parochial church meeting, it is. And as I have done in previous years, I'm going to speak about all that's been happening while we're all together, rather than waiting till the actual meeting, which makes the meeting much shorter. I think it's very important that we celebrate together all that's been happening in our church over the last year, and we do have much to celebrate. So for our APCM, as part of the Charity Commissioner's requirements, we have to produce an annual report, which gives the activities of the PCC, gives a finance report, a safeguarding report, the vicar's report. And there are copies of that report on the website, which you can link through from the update. It's here, and there are paper copies that will be available afterwards. So if you want an aid to going to sleep, take one of those, and very, very interesting. But we've also, once again, we haven't been able to do this for a few years, we've produced an annual review. So there are copies of that at the back, which again, if you would like one, you're very welcome to. But I'm now going to take time to go through some of the pictures to remind us just what has been happening. Many of you'll have seen from the update. So we have comings and goings. And here's a picture of Matthew's ordination as a deacon on the 2nd of July. Some of us were in the cathedral for that. Some of you came into church to watch the live stream. Some of you watched at home. And then the next day, we had Matthew's first service when he came back to us as a curate. And you probably can't, I don't know how close you can see that picture. Matthew, your face and my face, my hands are going all over the place like they always do. And yes, so, but that was the first, his first service. And then in September, we said farewell to, and thank you to Sally Prendergast. Sally is now at Monk's Risborough, and she's very recently been licensed as their associate priest. At the beginning of the year, we said goodbye as our youth minister to Becky Murgatroyd-Morton, and it was wonderful. On the 2nd of April, all of these young people who've gained so much from Becky were able to gather to say thank you. We will also be saying goodbye to Michelle Fotherby, who's been here as an ordinand, and Michelle will be ordained at Christ Church Cathedral in Oxford on the 1st of July, and is going to serve as curate in Chalfont St Giles. And the other thing to be looking forward to is Matthew's ordination as priest here in church on the 24th of June, and his first communion service on the 25th. I want to just highlight how much our building is used by other people. And so here's a picture of the Ecor concert that was held just before Christmas. Of the Wendover Community Singers concert that was last June, and then there's another one going to happen this coming June. We've had all sorts of concerts. I saw a little clip of the Baroque concert that happened on Tuesday that sounded very wonderful. And so lots of opportunities for concerts here. The children's room nursery just along the road in Wendover came at Christmas and celebrated. The junior school come regularly. This was Christmas time, I think, when they come and held services here. And the tea dances, that again was the Christmas one, with about 100 people here, I think. And there's going to be another one this coming July. And that's where people from right across our community have come together. Highlighting our festivals and celebrations. This was Christingle at Christmas time. The wonderful event that happened on Christmas Eve. It was a real joy, I think one of the highlights for us, of about 300 families, all ages, coming together to hear the story, to sing carols. It was very simple, and there's the vicar and the associate priest with their halos on, but it really was great fun. There's some more, the children all got dressed up, and the star. We had our Jubilee celebrations, when it's a Platinum Jubilee last June. We had our afternoon tea, and then we had a Songs of Praise. And then, of course, we marked the Queen's death in September by various services, an opportunity for people to gather together. And then we had a wonderful barbecue after Matthew had been ordained. And again, great chance for us all to be together in the sunshine outside. Our children, young people and families. So this was Ignite, having a picnic last summer. Sparklers, again, one of the things that we can really celebrate. Because each Monday, lots and lots of family, children with mums or dads or grandpas and carers all gathering up in this space. And it's really a really important piece of work that Nadine got going, and I know many of you come along and volunteer at that. And we're deeply grateful for all of that. And there again, our Surge, we're always grateful to Bridget to being able to host them. This is their famous movie night at Christmas. What else has been happening? Well, there was the wreath making just before Christmas. We have our monthly walks that are usually led by Mike and Carol Crockett, sometimes by John Gilby, and a whole host of people coming together to do that. Our bell ringers, we're always so grateful to them for coming and ringing, and that picture was actually taken when it was the time of the Queen's funeral, when muffles were put on and taken off, and flags put up and down, and it was very special. So yes, very grateful to them. Picture of flowers, because we're always so grateful for the flowers that we do have around our church. We've had our Lent course, the Come and See Lent course that worked across Wednesday night group meeting, Thursday morning services, and then our Sunday services. And I think that's worked really well for us to be able to come together for that. Our beautiful wall, which is blending itself back into it's weathering, as James said to me the other day. That's one of the pieces of work that we've been doing this year. We've had our Warm Welcome Cafe, where we work together with churches together. That happened in the Christian Centre, and was a place where people could go to keep warm and to be with others. We continue to support the food bank, and grateful to those who continue to bring things in. We've done that in partnership with the youth centre and churches together at various points during the year. I put in our Eco Church Award. The award that we got was in 2021, but we're continuing to see how we can move that up onto a silver and then even onto a gold award. But thinking about creation, our care of creation, and the care we have around, in our church and around a churchyard is particularly important. And at that point, I just want to say, I don't know if you're aware, but Wendover Parish Council have entered the small town best kept, so I can't go best kept village, best kept small town competition this year again. And in 2019, when Wendover won, the churchyard was highly commended. So if you do bring things flowers into the churchyard, can you be keeping them nice? And I'm going to be texting Harry and Simon, who do lots of the grass cuttings, so that we keep it looking as beautiful as it always does. And it was great that we had the churchyard tidy the other week. I haven't got a picture of Thursday mornings, but I really want to celebrate our Thursday morning service as well. 2 weeks ago when I was here, there were 27 of us. Those of you who are 9 o'clockers know that sometimes a 9 o'clock service can be perhaps just another 10 on top of that. It's become a really important service for those who can't get here on a Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, which would be the preference. It's a chance for people to have coffee and to talk together. So please remember it's there. Please remember to encourage others if it's helpful to them. And please be praying for it because, as I say, it is just so important. I put up that picture because Thursday was Ascension Day. And those of you who came to church and when Nadine was preaching were given a paper, printed picture of this. And if you look carefully, you can see the disciples all there, the very bottom of Jesus and his feet ascending into heaven. But if you also look carefully on the globe, you will see the imprint of his feet. So we know it, as I say, ascension is when Jesus was taken up to heaven. So we know that he's there, but we also can see what he has left us. The children at the junior school this week were thinking about ascension and about what Jesus' legacy was and what their legacy will be. If you remember the Body of Christ series that we had in the autumn, where we were thinking together about who we are and what we believe, we thought about being the hands and eyes and ears and feet of Jesus in our community here and community outside. Those imprints of the feet were on the world then and are on our world now. And what we need to be thinking as we look back, but also start to look forward, is that we need to be those feet of Jesus. Where will they be? What will you do as a follower of Christ that then encourages others to follow in Jesus' footsteps and in yours? We need to be thinking what we'll do as a church community, as I said, in this place and with others. With others in this place, so people who come in, if you ever come into church, you'll find others here, having been into the churchyard or just walking past the Ridgeway and coming and finding space here. But also with others in the community, where you find yourself. Many of you will help with the Dementia Cafe. You're involved in many organisations in our community. And we need to think how we can be doing more in those places so we can share God's love with us. We say that we want to be at the heart of the community, and sometimes that is true. And this is a place where the community can gather. We've had quite a lot of funerals this year, most notably that of Dr. Colin Riley, when many gathered to say goodbye to a person, Colin, who'd been the doctor here in this village. But then the next week, we had a huge funeral for Pete Dunkley, someone who'd grown up in the village. And what the constant response was, it's fantastic that we can be in this church. One of them we had sparkling wine, one of them we had beer afterwards, and it was really, really appreciated that was perfectly okay to do in this place, as people had gathered to say goodbye and were then able to celebrate. So there's lots to be thinking about what we will be doing. I know that when he talks, Matt is going to share about our finance and all of the things that we have been doing. I hope that those of you who are sitting at the back can hear me absolutely perfectly. Can you? We have a new microphone. And it is amazing. So that's one of the pieces of work that we've just done. The way that our slides are being shown and are going to be able to show them through the live stream is another piece of work. The doors are heading towards being done. I'm not going to steal Matt's thunder. We've been getting on and doing things that are really important to help this place to be more accessible to everybody. One of the things that I want to tell you about is a new post that we're slowly beginning to explore. We unfortunately don't have anybody who feels able to lead with Ignite. Becky has stood down, and so almost straight away we're seeing not very many of our young people here in church. And so we're going to be spending time exploring with some of you in church, with people outside of church as well, as to how we could develop a post that will encourage families to be here, but also families to be taking part in some of the events that we have. So please, more about that in due course, but please be praying for that. A big celebration we're having in July is a wedding dress and flower weekend. If you're around on the 15th and 16th of July, there will be wedding dresses all around our church and flowers as well. So that's something that we're looking forward to. So I'm going to stop but encourage you, as I say, to be thinking about how we continue to be in those feet that Jesus left his imprint of. And I'm going to finish by reading the Malcolm Guite sonnet that I put on the end of the update. It's about ascension. We saw his light break through the cloud of glory, while we were rooted still in time and place. As earth became a part of heaven's story, and heaven opened to his human face, we saw him go, and yet we were not parted. He took us with him to the heart of things. That heart that broke for all the broken-hearted is whole and heaven-centered now and sings. Sings in the strength that rises out of weakness. Sings through the clouds that veil him from our sight. Whilst we ourselves become his clouds of witness and sing the waning darkness into light. His light is in us, and ours in him concealed, which all creation waits to see revealed. Amen. One thing that I didn't do as I was speaking earlier was to say an enormous thank you. If you're sitting here and you do anything to be part of St. Mary's, to make it all happen, please know that you are deeply thanked by myself, Nadine, Matthew, all of us that are in the ministry team, and everybody who benefits from all that you do. So I'm not singling anybody out, but to say a massive thank you to everybody. The meeting that continues, that follows this, we'll have coffee and then move into our meeting fairly straight away. We will be electing members of our PCC. We have 2 nominations for the 5 places that we've got vacant. If anybody's sitting here, I'm sorry, I can't keep coming and asking individuals, but if you are sitting here knowing that you would be able to contribute something to the life of St Mary's, please come and go and have a word with Paul. You can get a nomination form. We'd really, really like more people to be on our PCC, working together to move our vision on for this place. We also need 3 people to stand as Deanery Synod reps. Again, if you feel moved to do that, talk to Paul. But those elections will take place in our meeting. It's been Christian Aid Week. Thank you to those who've delivered envelopes. I know that many have gone into Just during the week to be counted. If you haven't contributed and would like to, there's a box on the trunk at the back. You can get an envelope from the shop if you go in, or you can go online. So please do contribute to that work. We've got, as I talked about, concerts. On the 3rd of June, there's actually a concert at St Michael's, Halton, music in quiet places, and that's on the update. And then on the 17th of June, it's the Wendover Singers concert, and tickets for that are being sold at Just, or you can be in touch with Carol for that. I think that's mainly all that I want to tell you, except to share Paul and I's very exciting news that on Wednesday evening, Jude Albert Donald arrived to James and Joy and to Jessie. So we went up to Tamworth to meet him. His father had a lot of hair when he was born as well, so but he was 9'11", so a big chap. And I'm thrilled because Donald was my dad's name, so so there are now 4 J's, which is lovely. So we just wanted to share that news with you.
Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy